All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, talking about stuff that, I don't know, it isn't pleasant, but it's been brought to my attention, so I'm going to raise the issue. And I do this in real time for a few real people out here just like you and just like me. If you want to reach out to me, Patreon, buy me a coffee, YouTube memberships. Those are ways to get back with me, to talk to me about stuff, and I will respond to you. Um, so, yeah, I mean, I would like this channel to be successful. Also, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications, and PJ Rock super chats. Forgot about those. PJ Rock is my number one super chatter. If you want to dethrone PJ, I will call the super chats after whoever dethrones PJ Rock, which I can't imagine that happening. But thanks for being here. So, Kathy, who is a loyal patron and a journey junkie, and someone else who is also a patron, John, they're both kind of concerned about Arnel Pineda because here on this wonderful platform that has, people have a love-hate relationship with this place. We understand that we get the most bang for our buck here. We do videos, and I've got people telling me, well, I'm not going to go anywhere else to watch you. And my other channel, was frozen in time. And I'd like that to be unfrozen, but that doesn't appear that will ever happen. So I'm here, and I've got a new version of me, just harmless Dave, trying to be even more harmless than before. I'm trying, but I like to talk about certain things, and it's boring to talk about how, bunnies fall off of tables or cats, really. It's a cat that falls off the table, but I switched it to bunnies, right? Fluffy bunnies running around. Oh, those bunnies are so cute. I'm so glad I'm watching this channel. I'm going to subscribe. It's hard for me to do that kind of content. When I started doing this, people realized, uh-oh, he's not being nice all the time. And I get that. You're a Christian. You should be nice. Because that's all there is to the Christian life. Just be nice. Yeah, this is why we're in the state we're in. Jesus was really nice when he turned those tables over, huh? He got those whips and started whipping the money changers. He was really being nice. Anyway, I haven't whipped any money changers, but I'm feeling as though there are a few money changers here on. People say, well, you ask for money. That's because this is what I do. And I'm not, look, you don't have to. I'm not making content in a way like I'm about to talk about. So Arnel Pineda, Kathy sent me this, and I was looking into this yesterday, and I did a Picard facepalm. I was like, oh no. Like, what are they doing to Arnel? So, all right. So let me get my stuff with Arnel out of the way. I think Arnel is an amazing human being. I think what he's been asked to do and has done it very well up until recently where, he's had some vocal issues and everybody kind of knows that. He knows that. He had a really off night in Brazil last year, and people were all over that. They're only going to get on you when you screw up. They're not going to get on you when you do a great job. Like, hey, Arnel, you did great last night. Nobody's going to say that to him. It's only going to be when he has a bad night, and he did, and he acknowledged it. I acknowledged it. He's been doing this for 18 years. He is the longest tenured vocalist for the band Journey continuously. He's it. Nobody at this point comes close, not even Steve Perry. And that's the issue right there. Steve Perry. I'm wondering if by what is happening out here, if there aren't a group of people trying to sabotage Arnel, and they're thinking, what, Perry is going to come back to Journey? That's really ridiculous. Perry is very retired. He Told everybody last year again that he wanted to tour. He hasn't, right? He hasn't. He's been saying this since the documentary, that VH1 Behind the Music thing, which was what, like 2002 or something? And he was saying, yes, I'd really like to tour. Yes, I really miss touring. I'd really like to tour. Okay, so we're going on. How long has it been since For the Love of Strange Medicine, right? Don't count the Eels performances. Those don't count. Touring, like going out as Steve Perry on tour. It's been more than 30 years since Steve Perry has toured. So I don't think he's going to be touring. All right. Surprise me, Steve. Go ahead. Announce a tour. That would be amazing. Maybe some of his fans will say, hey, how come, I heard this Dave guy who I don't like, but he was saying how you haven't toured in over 30 years. Maybe you could do one last tour for the fans. Anyway, let me get to the Arnel stuff because this is diabolical. It kind of reminds me of those AI channels that were popping up prior to my other channel getting frozen. Coincidence? Probably not. But you know what? I pray every day about this stuff because I've been doing this for 8 years and I've got to let it go. I got to keep moving. I have to keep going forward. I can't think about what happened, why it happened. But there does seem to be a very dark, and I would even call it demonic element out here on certain social media platforms. It's not everywhere, but it seems to be more prevalent where there isn't somebody who's looking after everyone. Like if they're trying to promote a certain agenda, a certain lifestyle, whatever. I mean, all of the above, all of the dark stuff. And I don't say this to try to be salacious. This isn't hyperbole, okay? I feel it, I sense it, I know it. It's like you stick your toe in the water and you go, yeah, I don't know if I want to jump back into this. People say to me, you should do this, you should do that. I'm like, I'm here more or less now to try to survive. Before I was doing fairly well, and there apparently is a price to pay when you start to become successful at this, which it really stinks. It would be nice in a perfect world you could become successful at it and enjoy it. Now, Kathy sent me a couple of links, and there are videos, several of them, on YouTube claiming that Arnel Pineda is in prison or he collapses in court. Here are the headlines. Here's one from 17 hours ago. I'm not going to name the channels. You know why? I'm not going to do any screen sharing or naming the channels. I'm just going to tell you the headlines. Arnel Pineda from Journey sentenced to life imprisonment. Now, he's not going to jail. He wasn't sentenced to a life imprisonment. And what they're going to do, though, is they're going to twist the words and say he's in prison because he can't be his true self, being a member of the band Journey, and this is torture for him, and he'll never be his true self. All right, another one, Arnel Pineda from Journey sentenced to life imprisonment. Now, these are two different channels, not the same channel. Another one says Arnel Pineda's ultimatum and Neil Sean's response that changed everything for Journey. Now, that one's not so bad. That one is kind of based in reality to some degree. Here's another one. 3 minutes ago, Arnel Pineda collapses in court after hearing his sentence. What? No, there's no court case. When did he go to court? And when did he collapse? And the crazy thing is the thumbnail, which is some really creepy and creative AI, has Arnel being escorted by 2 prison guards. And then on the other side, it has a nasty version of Neil, John, and Steve Perry, looked like they may have taken a picture from the Hall of Fame induction and then used some really creepy AI. And it's like a split screen. And they look like they're angry at him in the picture. Their faces are all like, it's just real creepy the way they did it. Another one says, "What really happened to Journey's YouTube singer?" It's a very creative title. It's a very creative title because it does two things. It would provoke somebody to watch it because maybe they thought something. First of all, YouTube singer, yeah, because they discovered Arnel on YouTube. But they're making it sound like maybe he sings for YouTube but they discovered him on YouTube. So rather than saying what happened to this great singer, Arnel Pineda, and then what really happened to him, I don't know. It's got 1.1 million views. Folks, I've been doing this for 8 or 9 years or whatever. I have never gotten a video over 1 million on the other channel. I think 700,000, maybe. Arnel Pineda from Journey is sentenced. Goodbye forever. 1 day ago. He's sentenced. Unbelievable stuff, folks. I think that's it. What really happened to Journey's YouTube discovery, Arnel Pineda? Like, it's past tense. So everybody, okay, here's another one. 2 minutes ago, heartbreaking news about Arnel Pineda. Heartbreaking news about and again, they've got these super creepy, and this is yet another channel, a different channel. I don't know. I'm heartbroken that it's like gremlins, but I would call them demons, little demons running around, creating content and really exploiting this guy. And one of the thumbnails makes Arnel look like some tribal person that escaped from an insane asylum. Arnel is a pretty good looking guy. And as he's gotten older, it's funny because when he was 40, he looked like he was 20, you know? And now he's starting to look like maybe he's 40 and he's approaching 60. But he's a good looking guy. And to make him look like almost like a monkey who's screaming and stuff. This is just, it's heartbreaking. And again, I'm pro Arnel. I have critiqued some of his singing in recent years because, like all of the other singers, this is nothing against Arnel. He's got the hardest catalog to sing, by the way. His is the hardest. And it's almost impossible to do this. Steve Perry was burnt out before I think he hit 40 years old. He was burnt out. And I think that had a lot to do with some of Perry's career choices after that. But some of these thumbnails are really creepy. One of them says, "The truth hurts. What really happened?" That's the one that says, "What really happened to Journey's YouTube singer?" And nobody is sitting there doing what I do, just talking and narrating. They've got clips from all over the place. They probably have some announcer guy underneath. I'm not going to glorify these videos. I'm not going to point out individual videos. I don't understand social media, like the dark side of social media right now. I don't understand it. And it's only going to get darker. I mean, this guy, it's hard enough for him trying to live in the shadow of Steve Perry, and then you heap all of this stuff which isn't true, but yet you bend it and twist it to make a headline, and you don't just do one of these, you do multiple. And I'll tell you why these get watched. Number one, people love this kind of sensational journalism, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know if I would call it journalism. It's more like the Jerry Springer, what was her name? Sally Jesse Raphael. It's more like that than anything else. They watch it, though, because some people are rooting against this guy. Like, yeah, maybe if he gets stressed out enough, he'll quit Journey and then Steve Perry will come back. That's not going to happen. These guys love Arnel. Dean Castronovo, who I am kind of friends with. I guess I'm friends with him, right? If I say that, people say, you're not really friends with him. Okay, I'm not really friends with him, but I know Dean Castronovo, okay? And he's told me over and over, they love Arnel. They're not going to do anything. They're not getting rid of Arnel. So all of this weird pressure on this guy, do they want him just to go insane? I mean, I've tasted a little bit of this, and quite honestly, I was deeply depressed. I was more disturbed than Kevin Cronin, right? And so I sat there and I said, wow, this is just creepy stuff. Take little things I say and put them in videos, and then I don't understand it. But they succeeded to some degree because they knocked me off the high horse. Now I'm I'm down here looking up going, well, and right now, folks, like I tell everybody, it is what it is, what I'm doing right now. I'm just winging it. And wherever it goes, it goes. But after, it's like you build up this big business and then they lock the doors, and you can still see, it's like having a car dealership. You could still see all the cars in there. You could see all the work that you did, but you can't get in. You can't open up the business anymore. It's there. It's like a museum. So anyway, pray for Arnel. Pray that he's going to be okay. I'm sure people are pointing this stuff out to him. And let me also say this. So Journey, you guys are famous for lawsuits going back and forth between members. This member goes to the White House. This member over here pays too much for a hotel, whatever it is. All right. You should be looking after your guy here. All right. You guys should be contacting someone, right? And saying, hey, we can't have this stuff out there about Arnel. We love Arnel. We're going to take care of him. And even if these guys do someday decide to part ways with Arnel, right now, he's your guy, right? If you're booking gigs, he's your singer. And so you ought to be taking care of him. And that means, if he needs legal assistance, if somebody needs to cease and desist, then you guys should be the ones that initiate that. I'm just somebody out here who has an opinion on stuff, and I get in trouble just for having opinions on stuff, right? But stick up for your guy, right? He deserves it. He's worked very hard. He's definitely earned his success and maybe the small amount of wealth he has. We all know how that works, though. That can go away very quickly. And so you have to be grateful for what you have, but you also have to take care of your own. So those are my final thoughts about these videos. And you'll say to me, and a lot of people say, oh, you need to have thicker skin. They're just videos. What do you care? I mean, really? Because this stuff can shape public opinion. I mean, it's one of these videos only had like 134 views, but the one, what happened to the YouTube singer, 1.1 million views. One day ago, Arnel collapses, 10,000 views. That's pretty substantial. Sentenced to life in prison, 13,000 views. Another one, sentenced to life in prison. And these are all different channel names. This would really drive me crazy, because this is very similar to what happened where all these pirate channels, I like to call them, set up shop and then they start uploading and it goes crazy. And then you're sitting there going, what just happened to me? And I would report all this stuff, but It doesn't seem as though they want to respond. It just doesn't. It's too bad. They really need to clean this up. I mean, this should be a safe place for people to do videos and to watch videos too. It should be safe in that regard, that you're watching content that isn't AI generated nonsense. So, in any event, folks, I wanted to get that out there. Hat tip to Kathy W. for sending this over originally. She's a patron. Also, John, who's another Journey junkie who is a big Arnel fan. And I have fans of Perry and Arnel and just of the whole Journey thing in general who watch me and who are subscribed and who are patrons. And I thank you guys for being there. And let's pray for Arnel because, you know, everybody's ego is fragile. Everybody's ego is, you know, one slam or one comment, one negative thing away from being in a place. You know, I've been dejected the last few months over what happened last year. But again, you need Jesus Christ. I'll throw that in there, as I like to do, and people hate it sometimes. But you need Christ. You need to know who you are in Christ. You're a new creation. And Jesus, he's got you. This is the whole point, because you can't do this alone. And Arnel can't do it alone, and none of us can. So those are my parting thoughts on a really bad situation.